And early voting for the U.S. presidential election is currently on in most states of the U.S. except for a handful of states where either early voting has closed or a very few states that don't allow it. When election day comes on November 5th, millions of voters will have already cast their ballots early, both by mail and in person. DD India's Amritpal Singh explains what the early voting system in the U.S. election is. He caught up with voters as they came out from polling booths in Travis County, Texas. Let's listen in.
2 weeks to the election day and millions of Americans are already voting in early voting or through mail-in ballots. Early voting system in the US elections is designed for convenience of voters that they may cast their votes early or by mailing in ballots if they are traveling out of their counties or are unavailable for some reason on the election day.
Early voting is just voting before election day, and I do it to make sure I don't forget to get out and vote.
I was just trying to beat the crowds and get it done before, all the rest of the people tried to.
While people have different reasons for voting early, convenience being one of them, but in this election, there is this whole question of whether people's vote will be registered. I have one voter with me who's just cast her vote. Why did you opt for early voting?
I think there's a lot of excitement around this election, and I also think there's a lot of anxiety. You are hearing about the election for over a year, and so at this point, you just want to get it over with. So one of the reasons why I voted early was that I just wanted to make sure that my ballot was in, and I wouldn't have to wait in the long line. So both the anxiety and the excitement is what brought me here early.
Given the highly polarized campaign that this one has been, some voters are casting or even not casting early votes because they have apprehensions that their votes could be stolen.
I came in today because I wanted to be sure absolutely that my vote was going to be counted. And so I know with early voting that I could find a spot where there is not a big line, but also not have to worry about any weird things happening on election day where maybe people don't get to actually cast their vote.
I'm a little afraid that my state will throw out early votes, so I want to vote on election day this year.
According to early data, there are hints that Republicans may be cutting into the Democratic edge in early voting. That might cause concern for Democrats who remember 2020 when Democratic mail-in votes were critical to Joe Biden's victory. It could also simply mean that Republicans are doing more to encourage early voting. While analysts and strategists are trying to read trends into early voting based on who's voting more, is it Republicans, is it the Democratic voters, is it women, communities like Black Americans or Latinos, etc., and trying to read trends into it. But it's too early to call in the US election because early voting counts as much as the voting on the election day. So the House is still open as far as US elections go. With cameraman Sanjay Jena, this is Amritpal Singh for DD India in Austin, Texas.